Hello and welcome to the CAFMA Connect. I will be your host today, John Feddema. I'm the operations chief, and I'll be covering for Chief Freitag, who is away recovering from shoulder surgery. He is out this week, and we thought it best that he stay away, being that he probably shouldn't do any public speaking while he's recovering with some pain medication. So he is out, and I'll be covering. As you can see, there's no co-host today. The bus that caught me this week and got me on the podcast caught me quicker than I could grab somebody, so I'm here alone. So I thought, what better time to change it up, to do something different than with Chief Freitag away and recovering from some medications, so I don't think he'll remember it. So we're going to move forward. We'll do the work. All right, the topic that I want to cover today is just to provide a couple updates and then ask two questions at the end of this. The update, Leo, just for everybody's knowledge, got checked off as an acting engineer, and we did Mike McFadden's end of probation as a company officer. Some of you might be surprised for Mike McFadden. It's been only 5 years. Actually, that's not quite true. I think a year and a half. But Mike obviously had spent some time away. He had shoulder surgery also. And his probation got extended, not because of anything he did, but because he spent some wonderful time helping the EMS division on light duty. So we held Captain McFadden's end of probation today, and he did a great job, and he's moving on. So both those guys, good job, moving forward. All right, the other update that we have, there are 2 Mesa rescues that are in Station 53, and we have one in Station 61, and those are there to support the mission. And if you're not aware of how those got here, Chief Rose did a great job contacting Mesa, and the relationships that he has created with Mesa Fire has got those rescues into our stations to support the mission. And they're here without any strings attached, and they're here to support the goal of what we're doing. And I think the big reason of why those are here is because of the understanding that we are all serving one mission, and we're on one team. And that mission is to serve the public. So he did a great job. They are here. They are moving forward. And we've also provided the guidance on the expectations of how those get utilized. So keep that in mind. Use those resources as needed. And again, this is not the end goal. This is a stopgap to help us get there. So you guys are doing a great job supporting that and supporting the public. So again, the reason those are here is because of the understanding that is one mission, and it is one team, regardless of the banner, regardless of the logo that's on our shirt, whether we're operations, non-operations. It's a good understanding, and I think the Arizona Fire Service and the fire chiefs around the state embody that better than most, because even this last week, Chief Bradley with Northwest Fire has also offered rescues to support our effort to move forward in this stopgap to help provide service to the community. So again, though, we're taking the next step. And again, I want to highlight that it's the understanding this is one team. And part of that team discussion, I want to go a little deeper into that, is the understanding of what it means to be on a team. I have the opportunity this summer to support youth athletics. My daughter's been playing volleyball, and my sons have been playing baseball. And I had the opportunity to coach a team. And on that team, we had one player that we had to pull aside. And it just was a poor understanding of what it means to be on a team and what it means to serve the mission of the team. Because like most sports, the team is made up of individuals with individual performances supporting the team. And this young man, he struggled with that concept. What he did was, if the coaches provided him some information, he would undermine the coaches. He would discourage the other players based on what the coaches were doing. He didn't like where he was playing. And at the same time, he would discourage the other teammates. If they made a mistake in the process of it, he was the first to make sure he highlighted the error, and he would bring the team dynamic down. So at first, we provided some soft correction. We provided some information that tried to encourage him to change the attitude, change the effort, change the performance, and to encourage the other teammates in the process of it. And I want you to consider what it means to encourage, because we say that, but what does that mean? Encourage, if you look at the word itself, is built on putting courage into somebody else. We don't always know the struggles somebody is going through, the insecurities someone may have, but we have the opportunity and the ability to put courage into somebody, to strengthen them at the core and to hearten them. At the same time, we also have the opportunity to do the opposite. We have the opportunity to discourage them, to pull courage out. And usually it's like a transaction. Sometimes we do that because it helps us feel better. But think about the opposite that we can do in putting courage into somebody and supporting them even in the failures. Because baseball is a wonderful opportunity to help people understand what failure looks like. There are lots of strikeouts. There are lots of missed balls, and it's easy to get discouraged. And we expect the teammates to build them up, to encourage them. And that's no different than the fire service. The hope is that we are encouraging one another to move forward so that we are stronger as a team. It's all perspective. I remember when I first learned how to mountain bike ride, I had numerous crashes. Actually, I found myself at the base of Chief Abel in a pile after I crashed into him almost. And it was a humbling experience. He can probably tell you more about it. But it was perspective. And I remember the instruction I got during that time was don't focus on the rock that's in the middle of the trail. Don't focus on the drop-off beyond the hairpin turn, because if that's what you're focused on, that's where you'll find yourself. Where your eyes are, so too you will go. So keep in mind, that's no different than in life. You have to help sometimes somebody look beyond the obstacles in the road, beyond the narrow path, beyond that hard turn, and that's what we can do in encouragement. We can help them see beyond the chaos, beyond the fog, where they're only looking at one point. Because if you're focused on that rock, that's what you're going to hit. And I found that out firsthand numerous times. So that young man we had on the team, we provided him some soft correction and tried to encourage him like, hey, change the behavior. It persisted, so we brought him out. We individually pulled him aside and provided some hard correction, which was, you need to change this behavior. And the behavior still persisted. And he continued to discourage the team. He continued to undermine the coaches and the decisions that were being made. So it got to a point where we provided him an ultimatum. We pulled him aside and we said, with a parent next to him, we said there's two decisions that need to be made. One of the decisions is you have to decide whether or not you want to be part of this team. And part of that decision is reflecting that your desire to be here through your attitude and your effort, because that's how we will determine whether or not you want to be part of this team. Encouraging the other players, supporting the coaches regardless of how you feel in the decisions. Ultimately, it's that support in the final moments. The second decision that has to be made, we have to decide whether or not we want you on this team. And that was a decision on the coaches. And that decision was going to be based on his attitude and his effort. And good for him for making the correction. He went out there and he supported the team. He encouraged the other players, and you saw the entire group dynamic change because he changed his behavior and he started to support the other players, support the decisions of the coaches. He made the change, and good for him, because ultimately it was on him to make the decision to want to be there, and that decision was reflected on his attitude and his effort. It's no different than in the fire service, no different than any job that we have. We all work under the same banner. The fire service in Arizona has done a great job to highlight that. Our rescues are an example of that. And this support for that one team, one mission concept, that's supported across this state. And I think that's our rescues that are in the stations are a great example. So my question, as we close this out, is what team are you on and who are you encouraging? Do the work. Have a great week.